Okay, Ulrich, probably you can start.
Yeah, we start. I start a bit slowly, so if everyone comes in. Welcome everyone from my office at home in these strange times. Um, I'm really happy to have this webinar, and I will give you a little introduction for the first 15 minutes, and later on I also will, together with Judith, um, kind of chair the program and look that all of you are on time. So Judith's first job is to look that I'm on time, obviously, because I don't want to set a bad example. So I'm Ulrich Schmutz. I'm the coordinator of this action, and Judith Conroy is the project manager. I say it a bit more general because the webinar is open to guests and other people, so it's not an internal thing. So excuse me for some of the information some of you already know. So I'm and Judith as well. We work at Coventry University. It's situated at Ryton Organic Gardens in the United Kingdom, actually in England, right in the middle of England, far from the coast, as far as it gets. And we have this Organic Plus consortium, which is in total 25 partners of all sorts of researchers, universities, NGOs, and you see the logos of all of them in here, which maybe not even is the latest I see in round. It has obviously changed. Some people changed their logos, and that's obviously, we catch up with that all the time. So this is a little bit chit chat for the beginning. Judith already said there is no chat function. So but we all think chat is really important because you have ideas and want to get them going, get them across. Please use an email to Judith Conroy, or you can also copy myself in, and then we'll try to pick that up during the day over lunchtime. And you have a question or a comment or any link or so, we will try to coordinate the whole thing and then add the whole chat function afterwards. So nothing is kind of lost. Okay, so just a brief overview. So the project is kind of started with its kickoff meeting in 2018. So we are basically, then we had another meeting in Denmark, and then we had a 16 months report at the beginning of January 2020 this year. So we are basically more than halfway through the project. So we have definitely, and that's the idea of the webinar, very interesting results, which are not totally finalized, and we're still working on the statistics and other things, but they are really interesting enough to be shared. And that was the idea of this webinar, so that we can all share this information. So it's a little bit before like a conference where you would immediately publish a paper. So we are still a bit more in discussion mode. So forgive any presentation which is kind of missing some data or some kind of final statistical analysis. That's not at the stage we are at for that. And let's just say that for the externals. Where all this goes is that we have two projects, Organic Plus and Relax, and I say a little bit more on the two projects, is also in terms of policy. We were asked to advise, and we had already a session in Brussels to advise policymakers on the future regulation of organic farming, including the contentious inputs and their potential removal, and therefore we do all this research to see what's possible, what the alternatives are, and also to not make any rush decisions and create unintended consequences, which would be bad as well. So you can see the phase out, and you can see on this graph kind of a different way how certain things may be phased out. The project is quite wide, and we will today mainly talk about copper, peat, and other fertilizers, but not so much about the antibiotics and other parts. So I'm just setting, this is the overall scheme, so where this research eventually could end up and make the EU regulation. And we have also our international advisory board here. You will meet some of the people later on. Will also influence regulation in the world. You know, I think it's fair to say that the EU regulation has implications beyond the direct jurisdiction of the EU. And so going back in time, so something significant happened in May. This is the Green Deal of the European Commission. It was actually done together with the European Parliament and other bodies of Europe. The decision is that 25% certified organic land is now an officially policy to aim, and this is to be sought by 2020 in the EU, which is quite a significant step that it is written officially in the EU as an aim, and obviously you know, gives us extra importance to deliver and improve organic farming. Some countries will be likely to be above 50%, probably even before the end of Organic Plus. This is a prediction I have, but we obviously don't know predictions. Who knows? And the other thing, yeah, it's obviously also a policy aim, so there's a little bit of caveat how much they will be become reality. But it could also be that the regulation, which is the baseline, which we are discussing from 1991, the organic formal EU regulation, could soon become the standard for all farming, especially for the livestock stocking densities, and maybe also for the fertilizer inputs. I'm not talking about the different fertilizer, but I'm talking about the total amount of fertilizers. So it's going further. I just set that scene. So now today we are here and talk about how to phase out those identified contentious inputs. We will talk about copper. This is the title now of our webinar. We will talk about peat. We will talk about fossil fuel derived plastics and conventional fertilizer. And we'll come to that in a minute. I'm just going a little bit more into the background of Organic Plus. The first thing is that we have two projects, and we have always worked very closely with a sister project. This is called Relax, and we put that first here. And we have also always worked quite closely with them, but we are also different. And the thing I wanted to say today is that we have done, and you see that earlier, some combined work with livestock, and this is not the topic, and I will show you that in the next slide. But here today we talk about issues within plant, copper and mineral oil. It's in a very short form. You even see the whole project explained in here. And you can also see for Organic Plus on the green side, on the right, that we do, in contrast to Relax, we are a little bit more in this work package of soil, which we basically added to the call because we thought peat and plastic mulch were quite contentious, but we also do work on copper and mineral oils. So just to explain you a little bit about the project, both projects are worth 4 million. If you're into financial numbers, they go for 4 years. So all together, the EU has invested 8 million in that work. The kind of sister webinar, if you want, or similar one for livestock is on our website. It was together with the Organic Animal Husbandry organization and also with other projects. So we did a slightly different format there, and it's also linked to the Organic World Congress, which was initially thought to be held just last month in France, in Rennes, and it's now being delayed for 1 more year. you can download the proceedings of the livestock work here as well. So now just a little bit more in terms of what is Organic Plus, just as an introduction, and maybe the easiest thing I thought is, instead of me talking about it, let someone else talk about it. We have worked with a project, it's called Løes, who is another EU project which has analyzed projects, and Organic Plus was one of them to be analyzed, and they have created a poster which has some information. So this is the poster they created about Organic Plus, and I have this information again, so it's a bit small for you all to see, but I will zoom into it. So we talked about the 4 million. We have they have said what are the highlights when they analyzed the project. So is the optimization and adaptation of pioneer farmers' novel solution. They thought that's really interesting. A large share of research organizations in the consortium and farming SMEs involved as stakeholders, and there's local synergy with other research projects. So that's as a matter of introduction. And then they have analyzed us as well in terms of good practice and lessons learned. And I will not go into that detail, but I'm just, you know, kind of show this, and these slides will be available as well. I think we have fairly good website, or kind of in a minimalistic style, where you get a lot of the information you need, and you can download everything if you want to know more. And so they have also set some interesting links and videos. You have the website here. We have done fact sheets together with farmers in many different languages. So today I think it's a little bit more on the pure research part, but we try to, you know, also make that available to farmers. And maybe Anne-Kristin says that later. Anyway, everything we want to put on the organic e-prints later on, so it will be available free to everyone as well. Yeah, and this was one quote they said here: we are working together not only with all countries, but also with certain people who are really interested in this project in Turkey and Poland. And is that not a great advantage? So that's also comes from that poster I showed you earlier. Okay, I think that's all from me as an introduction.